Mr. Chenoy, this sounds like if we can actually provide employment to 150 million people, or 158 million odd people in the next 12, 13 years, then that means we've moved them out of poverty and we've pushed them almost into the lower middle class, which puts the entire middle class at about 300 to 400 or 450 million, which is a very large number. Do you think that that is the cusp of a new economic revolution, like like a green revolution or a wheat revolution or a white revolution?
I would actually, the number is larger, because if you look at the national target and the Prime Minister's target is 500 million people over in the same period of time, right? The NSDC's target is 150 million people. The Ministry of Labour has to do 100, Human Resources 50, and then it is divided among 15 other ministries. If we are able to achieve this, or even 50% of this, right? But I'm sure that we will be able to achieve more than 50% of this target. Two things would happen?
One, the ministries would go out of business.
Ministries would not go to business. No, ministries would actually be respected because they've delivered something. But very importantly, if you look at the demographics in India in 2022, right? It's about 1.4 to 1.5 billion people, right? So if you divide that by 4, which is the average size of a family, right? So you would have roughly about 400 to 500 million households, right? So if you have 200 graduates and 500 million skilled people, if you can achieve that, it means that every household will either have a graduate or a skilled person.
Right.
Okay? Now that means, you are achieving a lot of other things that you want to do. The typical thing of inclusive growth, reducing disparity, getting economic activity down to the village or the habitation level, and educating, and maybe I don't know if you consider skill as education, but you would have actually got 100%
Employment.
not 100% employment. Each family would have access to employment, or have access to becoming an informal entrepreneur or doing something which will give him economic returns. Okay, and he will be a kind of a value adding part of society, and may not necessarily require support of many kinds that are given today.
Finally, Mr. Chenoy, I'd like to know what is your blueprint, not just in NSDC, but as a citizen of India. What do you think will be the roadmap for the next 20 years? What is your personal vision statement and mission as a citizen of India?
No, I think if you ask me personally, and what I see the country over the next let's say 12 to 14 years, I believe that we will be saying a developed country does not convey it. We will be a country of people that have the ability and collectively we would be a country that is a source of let's say not necessarily economic, but even cultural, economic and societal influence over the rest of the world. And we would not be dependent either on other people within the country or from people from outside for meeting our basic requirements or meeting our basic needs. We would perhaps be one of the leading manufacturing and service centers in the world. We are already number one in agriculture in many products. I see that continuing. And I think go back to the time where Indians are recognized world over for their ability to contribute to society, whether it be in terms of philosophy, in terms of culture, in terms of economic activity, or any kind of leadership or partnership for development.